Okay, so something about grieving. An example of grieving over something that is really messed up and doesn't make sense, doesn't even have to be a person, right? Right now, I am in a process of grieving over a lot of things, okay? I want to get them out of my life. The thoughts, the feelings, the negativity I want out of my life. I'm not talking about people. I'm not talking about things like that. I'm talking about legit, like, thoughts over outdated thinking, like, that keeps going, like my past. You know what I mean? Like, the things that have hurt me. It's like, if I'm going to think about the things that have hurt me, I'm either going to think about them and cry about them and let them hurt me because maybe I didn't before, or I just have to stop thinking about them, right? You guys are even lucky that I'm doing these videos. I'm just kidding. I'm in the process of quitting smoking, right? Like cigarettes, Juuls, anything that's nicotine. I've been smoking since I was 9. I'm 35. I don't like saying that, but I am 35. So I want to explain something. When my parents were getting divorced, I was around 9, okay? That's when my dad smokes. That's when I started smoking, is when my parents decided, well, my mom decided to get divorced. It was a subconscious mind to have that connection always with my dad to smoke cigarettes with him. So when that was happening, I was creating that string that would always attach us together as smoking cigarettes together. Like, you know what I mean? Like, go outside together at like a restaurant, smoke a cigarette, or I could just ask him for a cigarette, or whatever the situation is, right? So it became a thing. You know, whatever 35 minus 9 is years later, here we are. And it's not easy. The withdrawals are horrible. And I've never experienced anything like it in my life. But I have had really bad abandonment issues, and I'm getting better with them, and I am healing them and grieving them. I'm grieving over the people that have abandoned me. And that's okay, because it's also helping forgive them, okay? So if there's things that need to be grieved, it could be little things like, hey, I'm quitting smoking. That means that abandonment that I was so scared of that my dad was going to do to me, it's kind of like I'm grieving. I'm not quitting the cigarettes because of this, but because I'm quitting the cigarettes, I actually do cry, because it reminds me that that's a connection that I have to my dad that helps me feel like I won't be abandoned by him, or that he'll like me, or accept me. Like, he'll like me. He'll think I'm cool. You know what I mean? Something like that along those lines. So I do cry. It's weird. Because it's like the only thing that, there's other things, obviously, but it just because you pick something up by somebody does not mean it's a positive thing. If it's a positive thing, then hey, go for it. But me picking up smoking cigarettes because I wanted to connect with my dad isn't really that healthy. And it's not that healthy that he didn't try to stop me either. Shows you know, that's abandonment within itself. But yeah, like, I would do these things. So it's like, it's a thing where I'm showing up for myself. Nobody's abandoning me in this unless I let them. I can look at it as, this is healing my abandonment that I've, and facing and accepting the abandonment that my father has shown me. But the grief is the acceptance of, he wasn't the dad that I wanted. He wasn't the dad I expected him to be. He wasn't the dad that he should have been. So if you have something in your life right now that should have been something different, it needs to be grieved over. Because the more you think of loss, even if it's in a way like that, which is losing someone, you know, to appreciate it, the more you think in loss, the more lack mentality you have, the more lacking you're going to have in every other aspect of your life. So, grieving is a huge thing right now in the world, not just like, you know, whatever. It's a lot of it's not easy, but it's, if you want a better life, you know, then you'll do it for yourself. You'll do it for other people. I feel good when I am helping others. See, like, I'm explaining something that's pretty vulnerable right now. Like, you know, what I'm originally grieving is a relationship. You know, it was... I was just playing with the cards, like, literally, and I was like, oh, hey. So, pretty much what I'm going through right now is I'm grieving with a relationship that pretty much ended before it ever even started. And I had all these visions and all these, you know, whatever, and this person was somebody totally, completely different than what I thought, and the relationship was completely and utterly different from what I thought it was going to be like. And that mask, that's why I laughed in the beginning, or that in the mask and the girl with a snake. That's why I laughed in the Purple Rain reading, the Song of the Day reading. That's why, because what I'm going through. But I am grateful for all the things and all the whatever that he taught me, the lessons, and what I can bring with me forward of what I want, of knowing, of knowing what it is I want and what it is I don't want. And then also the lessons I learned from mistakes in my past that now I know not to make in my future. My child is calling me, and I pretty much feel like I said enough for now. Okay? So this is a big one, though. Like, something little as smoking cigarettes and quitting cigarettes is making me cry to the point of that I know that I'm losing my dad in it. I'm losing that part of me. I'm losing that little girl inside of me that was like, hey, maybe if I start smoking cigarettes, my dad will like me. You know? So, try to think about it. Because it's true. That's literally, like, how it works. Subconsciously. But I cry by quitting cigarettes. Like, I'm not crying because of how the withdrawals are. I'm crying because it's a part of me that is dying. I'm grieving over a loss of myself. I'm grieving over a loss of all the abandonment that I've gotten from my dad, which is also healing. But this is a lesson. So I'm also grateful for my dad for showing me this. And I'm also grateful for my dad for showing me this, because now I can see it within myself, so now I can teach my kid. Or I know what to look for within my kid. Those little tweaks. But, okay. He's calling me. I gotta go. Bye, guys.